You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
I just want to make sure I pronounce it. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? I'm bringing y'all right in today. Thank y'all for joining the chat. Thank you to everyone out there. BB Games, Delano L, thank y'all for joining us. We already got people in here. So yeah, thank y'all for joining us. We have a very, very special broadcast today. I'm not going to have him on all day because he has a lot to do, so I want to get right to it. I would like to welcome to the show Mr. Raymond Fauntroy, former driver with Dr. Martin Luther King, former SCLC member. And matter of fact, I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to let him introduce himself to y'all so y'all know who y'all listening to, and then we're going to get right into it. How you doing, Mr. Fauntroy?
Oh, I'm alive and well. I thank God for that. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Can you introduce yourself to the people, let them know who you are?
Yes, my name is RayFauntroy. I am a former president of Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, Miami-Dade County. I was president here for nearly 20 years, from 1979 till I left in 1997.
Okay.
I've been involved in every hurricane, every riot, everything that has gone on, the invasion of this community by our Cuban brothers and sisters who invaded this country in 1980. Well, they've been coming since the 60s. But I've been involved in all of that. We welcomed them with open arms and thinking that we had the same kind of oppressive situations, but to find out that we did not, and that they were not on board with us. And that we were not on board with ourselves. So yes, I've been here involved with those riots that we went through, and the fact that we were 80% of the population then when I moved here from Washington D.C. And I came down in 1978, but I had been with SCLC since I was a young man under Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And because my brother, Walter Fauntroy, was Dr. King's aide, I got the opportunity to support him, Dr. King, and to become a part of the movement. I had the responsibility of picking Dr. King up at the airports when he would come to Washington. And I would take him to wherever he had to go, the White House, the church, or the meetings that he went to, and I was able to sit in the corner. I was a spook who sat by the door. Sit in the corner, and I learned a lot by just listening. And I just thank God for that opportunity. When I moved to Miami, the conditions were so bad for black folk here until I thought that, well, we needed to get organized and get an organization that would represent us. And that's what we did. We started SCLC. However, the first month I was here, I was selected and appointed the executive secretary for the NAACP here. But not understanding the role of the NAACP, I thought it was the same role that we had as SCLC, but that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned why it wasn't true. But it took an effort. It took a while for me to learn that they're not the same type organization. And the problem is that the problem that we have today is the fact that the SCLC was founded by black ministers, and Martin Luther King Jr. was selected to be the president by the ministers.
Okay.
And it's taken a long time to get to where it is now. Unfortunately, it is no longer existent as far as I'm concerned, and there are reasons for that. But the problem, in my opinion, brother, is that our people have not learned to come together. And examples are what has taken place here in Miami and what's taking place all over the country, all over the United States of America. We are being sold out. Our land is being sold. It's stolen, I should say, taken from us and given to others from other countries. Those others who come from the other countries stick together. They buy and support their own cause, their own community. They build their own economic base, and they will only buy from each other, one another, which is something that we should do in order to build our communities. But unfortunately, we have not learned that lesson, and we're losing just about every gain that we've ever made, and we have worked very hard to gain. It's just so many things that have taken place here among our people. We used to have farmlands. We used to have communities, which we no longer have. And it's our fault, in my opinion. And I think we can turn it around, look at it split, if we decided to organize ourselves. We are not an organized people, so we don't understand how opening a corner store will economically benefit all of us. Opening our own restaurants would economically benefit all of us. And that goes on down the line with everything that we buy. That if we decided, with the numbers that we have, if we decided that we were not going to spend our money anywhere but in our community, then we will begin to build our own economic base and our own community. We'll be able to create jobs for our young people. They wouldn't have to be out here looking for jobs. We would have the jobs, that we would own the communities. So that's been my concern, and how I think we can turn this thing around that we're dealing with.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, because you brought it full circle in just one a short monologue from where we were to where we are to where we need to go. I want to dive into some things that you said, and then because I want to bring it right back to us investing in ourselves. But I want to start back earlier. You were with you were with Dr. King, and so you said that there was a difference between the NAACP and the SCLC. Can you educate our listeners into what that difference is?
Well, let me say that whoever controls your sustenance controls your will. In other words, whoever finances your movement, that's who controls you. And we do not, to this day, have an organization that is financed by black people for black people. And until we do that, we're going to be at the mercy and the control of other communities. The NAACP was founded in 1909. It was founded by our Jewish brothers and sisters to assist us, but they took control of it and assisted themselves. And they're still doing it today, because we still have not understood that until we control our own sustenance and what happens in our communities, then somebody else will do that, because they make money out of our misery. And we've got to learn how to change that. There's a simple answer to the question. We don't have to hate anybody. We don't have to fight anybody. We don't have to shoot anybody. We ain't got to burn nothing down. We just got to pick our own selves up and take charge of our own communities. Nothing wrong with that. And you have to have the courage to do that, and the courage to have a community that will support it and back it. What I learned here in Miami, when I started the SCLC, there was no support for the organization, not even from the national organization.
Oh, wow.
That never would have happened. Never would have happened under Martin Luther King Jr. He would have made sure that each of these chapters, particularly those that were doing the work in the community, would have support from the national office. That did not happen here in Miami, and was not happening across the country in other chapters that I was aware of. So now you don't hear about it or from it, because it doesn't exist, really. And it doesn't exist because those who are in control of it have done what the other organizations have done, is sold us out. And that they continue to get away with it. It's the same thing. It's the same people doing the same thing they've always done. The people at the top get rich, they live wealthy and healthy, while the people at the bottom catch hell. So we gotta, we really gotta take charge. Yeah, it's the same game, but it's our fault.
It's our fault. Yeah.
We can't continue to pass the blame on somebody else when we could do better for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I don't blame anybody. I just go ahead and do what I have to do, and what I can do. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Mr. Fauntroy says something very real right there. He said that, for those of you, if you didn't pick up on it, all you can do is play your position. Oftentimes people get caught up in what other people are doing, what other people are saying, what decisions other people are making, and I got a recent email question with someone asking me, what can we do about these other people? And the answer is nothing. You can't. The white supremacists, they're going to move like a white supremacist. You know what I mean? People. When it's just a general rule, he who supplies the food it makes the rules. That's just a law of nature. You can't supersede laws of nature. Who's ever bringing in the money, they're going to write the rules every time. So, us knowing that, only thing we can do is play our position. That means we have to have our own institutions. And when you do see black institutions out there, it's on you to put money in those black institutions, not the next person, not somebody else, not your favorite basketball player or rapper. It's on you to support that. That's what he's saying. Same old game, but these are the things that we can do to change our situation. Am I on to you, correct, Mr. Fauntroy?
Well, the way I see it is this. We got to get organized to the point where if you select an organization to financially support, then you have to hold that organization accountable for doing what it's supposed to do. And I've seen plenty of black folk who put their money in organizations, but they did not hold them accountable for what they do. So we're putting in place, as we speak, an organization that will be accountable for what we do, and it's going to. I hope I can announce it very soon. We're not organized to the point where I can announce it, but you're going to have some people who have ability, who are in position, and who are tired of the situation that we're facing all over the country. Every city that I go in, we have the same problem with the same people. And it's basically because we don't understand what we have to do, and we don't trust one another to put our money in our own organization. So what we're trying to do at this point, or going to do, I'm going to drop that word trying, what we're going to do at this point is put an organization together that you can respect, that will be respectable, that you can hold accountable for everything that it does. And we can do that. And I'm praying that we will understand that that's what it is, and how we will benefit from the unity that it's going to bring us. These will be people that you may know or may not know, but people who have been in position. And these are some of these people that have donated thousands of dollars to organizations, but have gotten nothing out of it for the community. And they understand that that's what has happened, because you hear some of the donations they've made to different organizations that we know supposedly beyond the point, who are on the TV every day and in the news and all of that, but nothing has changed for us as a people. So they understand that. We understand that. And we're going to make an effort to change it. And we will change it because of the way we're putting this thing together. And you will be able to hold us accountable for whatever we do in our community. So
I believe that. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see you guys doing that. And when it's open and when it's moving, we're going to definitely have to have you come back on and talk about it. But I want to go back and talk about, you said if Dr. King were alive, you didn't get support from the SCLC, and if he were alive, that would not have happened. Talk to us about the split, because oftentimes people really do think that Dr. King, that was his organization. Talk to us about the difference between Dr. King and the organization. Was there anything that they were doing when he was around to undermine what he was doing? What were their differences in philosophy? Talk to us about the differences between Dr. King and the SCLC.
Well, first of all, yes, there was division among our people, even in the organization. There were ministers who came against him. Some ministers, particularly in the South, there were ministers who thought that he was a part of the problem, that he was, they were, in my opinion, house niggas who thought, excuse my expression, who thought that we should let the white man lead us and don't make the white man mad, that kind of thing. And so they came against Dr. King. They stabbed him in the back. And, I was with him one time in Washington when he spoke at the church there, a big church, Shiloh Baptist Church, one of the biggest churches in Washington. And I had to drive him, Harold Fauntroy, who else? I can't remember. Everybody was in the car that night. We had a limousine. And we dropped off at the church. And when he came out, he got in the car and he started crying. And I said, Doctor, well, what's the problem? What's wrong? Yeah. He just shook his head. And then I found out later that the ministers had stood up and come against him. And, the people he was trying to put together had come against him. And then that was happening all over. And, for example, in Miami, Florida was the only city that in the country that ran him out of Miami. This is back in the day, and they ran him out by the black ministers were behind all of that, so-called black leadership. Yes, there was division there, and those divisions were formulated by the system. It was J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI and later the CIA and other organizations, white-controlled organizations that did everything they could to destroy the movement. So, and it worked in many cases. It worked because the division causes deceit and distrust. So yes, it was there. It is now. We have it right now in our communities. And the things are going on right now. And I'm gonna just give you this an example here in Miami. And you guys might know some of these things that are going on in your part of the country. There is a greenhouse, black-owned greenhouse company that's coming here, and those that I've talked to in the community who should know, they don't know anything about it.
Wow.
So how do you have something like that coming into your community and you don't know anything about it? And why don't you know anything about it? It's because those who are bringing them here and those who are in power won't tell you, the community, what's going on because they want to control it and they own it. So, until we, do our own greenhouse, that the people, and I always say this, the change comes from the bottom up, not from the top down. We have enough experience to know that those elected officials only elect to look out for themselves. And we wind up as a people, the least of these among us, we wind up suffering and catching hell in a society where we should be living well. And until, like I said, we organize ourselves and deal with it. Now, I've called every so-called leader here. They don't know about it. If you don't know about it, what's going on? And like I said, what I'm learning, and I haven't found out everything yet, but I know it's coming from the top down. I know it's the people with the money who's putting up the money to build these things that we don't know. And then most of them come from someplace else. That's why we don't know this. So why are we not involving the people here who have been attempting to do this all along, but could not get finances to do it? The banks will not help you. They have not helped us. They redlined us back in the day, and they're still redlining us. I don't care who owns it. Even if black folk own it, they follow the direction of those who at the top of that pyramid called banking. So one example to change that is I lost over $500,000 of property here when I first came. I had the ideas of how I could build that, and I got a couple of houses. I started at the bottom. I got a couple of houses. I had an accident. I won the lawsuit. I took the money. I bought half a block of a building. I made it a meeting place so that we didn't have to leave because the government told you could be there past 9 o'clock, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we bought the building. We had our own meetings there. We had Dick Gregory to come in. We had Walter Fauntroy. We had Joe Lowry. We had other people coming in that would bring information into our community. The community, being the way it is, refused to support the ideas because they thought they were making this guy named RayFauntroy rich. He wasn't making me rich. It was enriching the total community. And yes, we have responsibility. We got to pay mortgage. We got to pay lights. We got to pay taxes. We got to pay all of that.
Yeah.
And the only way it's going to come is that the people come and support the organization, just like the churches run. The only way to keep it going is to financially support it. Well, after 44 break-ins, and the police could never find anybody or catch anybody breaking in our place and destroying everything that we were trying to do for ourselves, we couldn't get the job done. But there is a way, and we can get it done, and we're working on that as we speak. You learn by trial and error, and we've learned how this thing needs to be done. We want to pass it on so that the next generation will pick it up and take it further.
And yeah, you said something. I'm glad you touched on that, because for those of you who ask, okay, what are these people doing? You had an article that was up from the Miami Herald in 1994, September 7th. That's talking you talking about this, you having that building and having all those break-ins, and basically everybody was playing dumb, like they didn't know what was going on. So you see what happens, people, when our true revolutionaries do things. You cannot tell me that something can happen 44 times and the police not know what happened. You know what I mean? So these are the type undermining things that go on. So as Mr. Fauntroy continues to talk, I like, for us just to keep a close ear to wisdom to hear what he's saying as far as his experiences and what he's learned from that, so we don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah, and I thank you for that, because I think we need to learn from our experiences, and we need to learn from our elders. We've been through the fire, and I always tell young people that God chose the old because we know the way. He chose the young because you're strong, and you can get the job done, but you can't get it without us, and we can't get it without you. So we've got to put those two together and make whatever we decide to do happen. I've got to help you do what you want to do in our community. That's my position. You can't make it without me and the experience that I bring. And that goes for all our elders throughout the country, throughout the world, even for that matter. We've got to come together and deal with this thing. I just want to give you one other example, or two other examples that I've experienced. Not only did I start a meeting hall, because my place would hold 300 people, I only started that where we could meet and do whatever we wanted to do for as long as we wanted to, without the interference of the authorities. I opened a thrift store in order to finance it, because I realized that my people were not going to just come and make contributions to making this happen. So I opened a thrift store where I trained over 300 young people to be entrepreneurs. I trained them through the thrift store, where all of the things that I got were donated to us, and we could teach them how to prepare clothing, furniture, whatever it was, to sell to the public, and how to talk to the public, and how to price items, and how thrift stores work. We learned that thrift stores were making hundreds of millions of dollars out of our community all over the country. And all that money was going to the Salvation Army, and they living like kings. And we up here struggling, begging for jobs. So I went on and opened the thrift store, but again, that was part of the 44 break-ins. Destroy everything that I put in there, all of the clothing that I came in. They cut holes in the roof during the rainy season, all kind of little low-down stuff.
Holes in the roof? Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, and the rainy season here is very rough.
Oh, yeah,
so
Miami.
They and all this stuff is documented. I ain't lying to you. It's all documented. But the problem is this. I had a Feed the Hungry program, which Dick Gregory and Ben Vereen supported me for, where I would feed hungry people a balanced, healthy diet. It was called the Bean Program. And I had that going. So I was feeding hungry people. They could come get a bowl of beans and a piece of bread that we would make, and get the cornbread we would make, and we give it to them. Didn't cost a dime for the people, and the people were hungry. We had families coming. And one woman said that the recipe was one of Dick Gregory's recipes that he got from Dr. Alvina Fulton. I don't know if you might know her, but she was considered the mother of nutrition to the world back in her day.
Yes,
but it was
yes.
a nutritionist formula, a recipe that got the drugs out of the system. So we were very pleased with that, and it worked very well until they decided to break into place and tear it up, just tear everything we had up to make sure we couldn't do it. And with no funds coming in, and I'm very stubborn. I refuse to take money from the government because I know once they give you the money, then they scrutinize everything you do, and then they shut you down.
Yes.
So, if we control our own sustenance, we'll control our own community. I would like to give. Oh, the other example was Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Where the white folk did not want the black folk over in their community and ran them out every time they got the chance, sent them back across the track. And they said, okay, fine. And they used the same old tactic. A black man rapes a white woman. He looked at her or he said something to her, they come and attack, So the brothers and sisters moved on across the track, started their own city, Tulsa, Oklahoma, West Tulsa, and their city became greater than the white city. Became the first Wall Street in America. But they were not organized to the point that they could respond to what happened to them. The white folk came with airplanes and guns and bombs and attacked them, but they weren't ready for that. So my thing is, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be ready in every instance. You got to be able to put your money together. You got to be able to protect your money. You got to be able to protect your community. You got to be able to protect your people. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's great you say that, because I think that's one of the mistakes of the past. I always say, as we build our next great Black Wall Street, we have to build our police force, our security, our military along with it. Because that's how we live in a world with people who think this way, even amongst each other. I live not too far from SpaceX, and all night I see SpaceX security cars. They have Teslas because owned by the same person, Elon Musk, and there's SpaceX Teslas roaming the streets 24/7. Even SpaceX knows, that look, whatever you build, it's always going to be people coming to take, coming to destroy, and we're such a humanitarian people. We just want to open it up and show it to the world. But the world isn't necessarily happy to see what we build. So for all you entrepreneurs out there, listen to what this man is saying. For everyone that's building something, make sure you build your security team along with it.
Yeah, I'd like to take questions and answers. I'd like to do that because then we can answer some of their questions.
We can do that. All right, I'll do that.
The way I see it. Yeah,
let's talk. We have people in the chat room talking right now. Let's in the chat room ask some questions to Dr. Fauntroy, and then or would you rather? I can't have them call. I have to take them from the chat room. I have a lot of people. I have over how many we have in the chat room right now? We have 209 people in the chat room right now. So I need y'all to start ask us some questions, and we're gonna go ahead and get back to. And he's gonna answer them for you. One question I have was Miami in the Miami riots in 1980. What were the effects of that?
Well, first of all, you needed to know what caused it.
Yes.
And in my opinion, it was the camouflage for the invasion that came on the 20th of May, 1980.
Mm-hmm.
The riots were the result of the assassination, the murder of Arthur McDuffie, a black insurance agent and former 33-degree black belt Marine who lived here and worked here. And when I was involved with it, I couldn't figure out why. What's going on here? Is he a drug dealer or something? No, he was not. He was an upstanding, righteous brother. Okay, but they had to have something that would take the attention of the people and cause them to do this riot thing, if that was happening. He was beaten to death. He was chased by a policeman. He's on his motorcycle. He was chased by a policeman. They caught him. 20 policemen subdued him. Like I said, he was a black belt, 33 degree. He could handle himself. And they beat him to death. 20 policemen beat him to death and lied and said that his motorcycle had an accident, and that's why they got him. But we had testimony, and I was involved with the trial. I carried the mother over to the trial, which they moved from Miami. They moved it to Tampa.
Huh. Way to Tampa?
Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, they moved it to Tampa and put the judge in charge. The judge was Ellen Marfonius, who was a known hang judge. You know, if you're a black man, you're going to the chair kind of judge. So they was in her courtroom. But at any rate, the short of the story is all of the policemen, 20 policemen, only 4 were charged. The 16 policemen who turned as state evidence and told the truth about what went down were there. I was in the trial. I sat right next to McDuffie's mother during the whole trial, and I tutored her through that trial, tell her what I thought and what she should be saying and not saying, because there are a lot of trick questions in there. But at any rate, the 16 officers who turned state evidence and told the truth, all of them were fired or lost their positions.
Oh, shit.
Okay? The 4 officers who were charged were acquitted and got jobs in other cities. Every one of them. And that's what set the people off. That's what I was, at that time, I was president of the SCLC. And I said to the president of the NAACP, do not take the people downtown, because it's going to start something that we don't need right now. We need to deal with this. And, of course, they went on downtown, and, of course, the riot started. Somebody threw a rock from the back. Somebody, broke a window, started a fight, and that's what started the riots. Now, we know that that's the method that they used. They used it during the Dr. King's march in Memphis. There was the guys in the back of the march who started throwing the rocks, and they were all paid.
They used it last summer.
Throwing the rocks. And this is all fact. I mean, this is all documented fact, because the brothers, they admitted what happened, that they got paid to do that. So that's what started the riots. And of course, in the riots, there were 18 people killed. 15 of them were black people, 3 of them were white people, and they were killed. They were killed by policemen and other people riding through the community, dropping the windows, and just drive-by shootings by the whites. We proved that. I took it to Janet Reno and gave her the information. Not one time did they investigate it or bring anybody on charges.
Wow.
So that's what it was. Now, that was the 17th or 18th of May, 1980. So what happened on the 19th and the 20th, the 21st of May, 1980? Check it out. There were 175,000 Cubans brought to Miami, Florida. They call it the Mariel Boat Lift. 175,000 Cubans that came to Miami, Florida, who got free money, who got jobs, who got instant credit. So they got houses, they got everything they needed to survive, okay, in this town, free money. They were put in position to take it over, and they took it over. And they took it over with a negative attitude. They still have a racist, negative attitude. And why would that be happening in the 1980s in this country? It was the beginning of the takeover of every city in our country. I said then, and Dick Gregory was right there on the platform with me when I said it, that as Miami goes, so goes America. And that is exactly what went on. All over this country, they're losing city after city after city. And my point is, we are not, as a people, not organized to address the issue, and we allow the people who manipulate us to control us. So we got to wake up, brother. We just have to wake up and do what we're supposed to do. We are the original man. We're the first man. The planet was given to us, and it's time for us to act like it. It's Stop acting like we kids got to follow somebody. We got to follow nobody. They need to follow us. And we need to organize so that we can stand up on our own 2 feet and be an example to our young people and to the world.
I love it. I love it. So as Miami goes, because you're right. I noticed that change. That change is going on in LA. It's going on everywhere, and
Everywhere.
everywhere. I have a question from the chat room. Bank Beef Fishing Bank Jackson asks, "How do you feel about John Lewis?"
How do I feel about John Lewis?
Yes.
Well, I think he was. I knew John in the beginning of this whole demonstrations and marches that we had. Very courageous young man. He took a lot of beating. I mean, he took some beatings out there. He did things that I wouldn't do. And like I told Dr. King one time, I said, listen, Doc, I'm not going to go to Selma because if one of them spits on me or hits me, I'm going to fight. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to take them out right on the spot. Okay. And I think that's what was missing. And I think that John got beat so many times and hurt so much by our own people who turned on him. I know, I understand it because I felt it before. And, he's gone through it. And we thought, and I told Dr. King this as well. I said, you think these white folk have a soul? I said, they do not have a soul because if they did, they wouldn't do that they do. We wouldn't do the things they do. They don't know about doing unto others and loving one another. They don't know anything about that. They want it all for themselves, and they prove it every day. Their new world order is they want it to be run and controlled by them, and they have done all manner of things. They've killed everybody in their wake to take it over. When they came here to this land, they came here killing, stealing, and destroying everything in sight, and they did that, and you cannot deny it. It is in our history, and it's the truth. So until we wake up and understand that that's what we're dealing with, we got to deal with it.
You're right. That's the world history right there. I had another question from the chat room. Let me put it up. I just lost it. The question was, one second. I'm sorry. I just had it. Dang it. Okay. Well, what was Dr. King's demeanor in the weeks leading up to, or the last few times you saw him leading up to his assassination? Can you tell us what his demeanor was, what you felt?
Well, as we know, he was sold on nonviolence and turning the other cheek. And I think that was, basically, but he knew that J. Edgar Hoover was going to kill him. He knew that was part of this racist society that we're under. And I think the courage that when he said he believed that he was integrating his people into a burning house. In other words, this country's coming down. It's got to come down because they are killers. They kill, steal, and destroy everywhere they go. There's no peace wherever they come in. They want to own everything, kill everybody, and take everything, and they hate everybody. And I used to say it's not about race. It's not about religion. They turn the Christians against the Muslims and the Muslims against the Christians and the Sikhs and the this and the that. And I said, it ain't about none of that. Okay, and we have to learn to put our so-called religious beliefs aside and come together as a people, as a human being. Okay, we come in all colors, we come in all sizes and all languages. We need to live like that.
Yes.
Okay, no one group should control the lives of everybody else, and that's what has happened. And it's only because we have allowed a minority of people in this country to manipulate and control all of us. So his last few weeks, he began to reflect on that, I'm sure. And trusted some people he should not have trusted. But again, that's how we go. We trust people right now we should not be trusted.
That's a tough position to be in. Another question from the chat room was, what are your thoughts on reparations?
Well, I put it like this. They owe us. They came, they stole everything. They controlled everything. We went to war for them, fought for the country and all of that, all of those misleading lies that they told us. And yes, they do owe us. But are they going to pay us? I don't think so. Okay? So I'm saying, let's not waste our energy on that. I mean, yeah, everybody has a responsibility and a piece to something to do about our future. So let those who believe that do that, and let's back them up and support them for that. Yes, we should be paid. See, my position is I know they ain't gonna pay us. We've been begging for years to get paid. They ain't gonna pay us. They still think we're slaves, and we still act like it because we don't do anything to address those issues. One of the things that we tried to organize, we did organize here to address that was that, okay, since you're not going to pay us, we're not going to give you our money. We're not going to spend our money with you. We're no longer going to pay taxes on stuff that we don't get a benefit from. We're not going to support your Christmas and continue to enrich you with all of your games that you run off on Christmas and Easter and all the stuff, and you just make money, and we suffer and we give you our, that's got to stop. So we had a demonstration here where we marched on the black community, and we said to the black community, hold your money. Christmas is coming. Hold your money. Hold your money. Okay, well, we got opposition to that from the black business community, and I understand their opposition. But there's going to be some pain if you're going to have some change. And we got to change it, and if that's what it's going to take, let's do it. You only have to do it one time. If our people just stop spending money at Christmas, don't buy nothing, that should have changed, excuse my expression, y'all. That would change the lickety-split.
Hey,
believe me, because money is their God.
Money
Okay?
talks.
Money.
And they said
money talks.
The Supreme Court said money is speech. That's the Supreme Court said. Buck
That's
Sheldon
right.
asked,
Absolutely.
a question from Buck Sheldon in the chat room, and he asked, what is the relationship between Dr. King and Jesse Jackson from your point of view?
Well, Jesse Jackson was run out of SCLC. Dr. King asked him to leave. Because he was such a divisive, and now I don't care because it's the truth. I had no problem saying that he was run out of there because he was so divisive in the organization, and he wanted to take over and rule. Get out of here with that crap. Just no respect for your elders, and that's what it was about, as far as I'm concerned. And if you got a better idea, go ahead and do it. And that's what he attempted to, but he had the backing of the system, and that's why he was able to get his organization up and going. He had the money of the people who were oppressing us. So, that's it in a nutshell, brother. And again, and I always say this, there's no change among our people. There's no change among our people since these organizations have started. There's no change among us since Jesse started his organization. There's no change among our people, and I say no change. There's not enough change, because we're still not on our own. We still have to depend on the people who are manipulating and controlling us in order to survive, in order to live. So until we decide to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's giving your self-respect, your dignity, to stand on your own 2 feet and build your own community. We do it better than anybody in the world, but we won't do it. Okay, and I've got some brothers that I'm going to send to you who work with us out of Ghana, who are out of Cote d'Ivoire, West Africa, and they're working on with these ideas of changing the communities. For example, and we can get into that another time, but yes, there are brothers there who are organizing in their communities to address this takeover of their communities by these Europeans, and that's what we've got to do. And if it means fight, we got to fight. Bottom line. Or your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and their children gonna catch hell under the hands of these same people. So
I know you don't have all day. I have one more question I want to ask. Do you have any books that you recommend that we read that can catch us up? Or if not, if you don't have any books you can recommend, give us what you feel we need to know.
Well, yes and no. I just did a show with Claude Anderson last week, and he just recommended so many books, and so many authors have come on one of the shows that I go on talking about our issues. But reading those books has not made a change. So what I'm telling people to do, if you're going to read anything, read the Bible. Read the story of the 10 talents. Read the fact that we got our money and got our time, like we got this land is ours, and we let it go. We put our money under the in the ground and under the pillow and in the mattress and all of that, instead of reinvesting our money in our people. And that's going to change. That's what's going to change it. And it's not a hard thing to do. But if you read the story of the 10 talents, where all the other tribes got the same amount of money from the Creator, and they invested their monies and they built their community. We did not invest our money. We did it in foolish ways, and we're still doing it in foolish ways. We're buying everything they sell us and buying nothing that we provide for our people. And we can do this thing to change all of it. Now, I know that sounds a little different, but we've tried everything we could to get our people to wake up and do something. And sitting down and read a book is nice, but what are you going to do after you get that information? And the fact of the matter is, we've had so many books presented to our people by so many great people in our history, and we have not changed anything. So I know that's a little different from what we've been hearing, and you can recommend all the books that you want, but until you get off of your butt and do something for your community and yourself, if you do something for the community, you're doing something for yourself, and it's got to be an organized effort. And like I said, we're together I don't even like the word organization, but that's what it's going to be, that will guide us and bring us through this devastating times. And there will be a council of elders, if you will, people who have been through the fire, and they have information and have success stories, and they will share with you how to do it and will help you do it if you so desire. But it's going to be, and it's not an easy thing, because it counts on what we do for each other that makes the difference with this whole thing. What makes the difference is what we do for ourselves. We have plenty of examples. I always point to the House of Prayer in Washington, D.C., where the leader of the House of Prayer for All People back in the day, in the 70s, bought the 4 blocks of city blocks in Washington, D.C., and built housing for his people. And until we follow that example, we're going to be in the shape we're in. And the House of Prayer owned those buildings. Those people went in that time when they were paying $119 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. And you know what that has changed to today.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, and they did it to help his people, and that's what we all have to do. We don't see those kind of examples today. We all play by the rules of the system. We need to put our own rules together. We'll have that rule book for you, and we'll show you how to do it. We'll show you what roads to take, and it will be something that it will be easy to do because that's what we should do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the day we can begin to start talking about that and how we get this done.
I need you to know that whenever you can start talking about it, I would love for you to come back on this program, because you just hit on exactly what I always say. The books are great, but it's not the books that's going to cause any kind of freedom. It's your application of the knowledge that you've learned. Knowledge applied is just, knowledge unapplied is just talk. It's just words. If you're not going to get off, my grandma used to always say, if you ain't going to get off your rusty dusty and do it yourself, ain't nothing going to change. So we appreciate that wisdom. I know you have a busy day, and I know you've been doing interviews so I don't want to hold you any longer. Is there any way that they can find you or donate to anything that you have going on, or your closing words, anything you want to say before you head on out?
Well, yeah, let me say this. First of all, I've never put together a fundraiser for various reasons. The reason I haven't done it is because each time you do a fundraiser, the other people get their hands involved in it, and they control it. And I just say, people, if they want to support the ideas of what we have, they can send donations to us. It's not going to be tax deductible, because that's when you get in all your trouble, deducting taxes, and they think they're giving you something by deducting your taxes. We're organizing ourselves to be able to raise these funds ourselves, control them ourselves, and do what we need to do for our people. And that's not to spread the money all over, because you put your money in United Way, and then you can count how much of it gets to our people. You put your money in the Cancer Foundation, you see how much gets to our people. So we're going to do it in such a fashion that money that you donate to this move here will get directly to our people, and we will be held accountable for every dime that comes in. So it just gives me a chance to be able to talk about that with the legitimacy of our organization, and that will be in place. And we've done a lot of things, but been sabotaged by many backstabbing tricks that they play on us, and that's why a lot of our organizations don't get there. If they don't control the money, or the money that comes into our communities, then if they don't control it, then it fails.
Yeah.
So we're going to change. We're going to change that, and we're going to be willing and able to stand up to it. You know, we're the richest people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
But we're not. But we're not organized.
Mm-hmm.
We are not organized. So yes, we're in a position to do that. We'll be in a position to do that. One of the groups that's working with us, one of the people, I should say, is the president of the Motown Alumni Association. Those people have an idea, an understanding of, particularly because of the music business, how it's been controlled and why they still in control. Mm-hmm. You know, and how Prince and Otis Redding and many of our singers and writers, songwriters understand what we have to do. You know, and they take them out when they don't. But this time, when they take one of us out, one of them going at the top. So mm-hmm. we ain't scared of y'all. We're going to organize. You know, we've been through too much, and enough is enough. And if the brothers that have the art of defense, we need y'all, and y'all need to take a stand. You need to have a plan, and we need to be in position. And I've often said, you come at us, we can come at you. So
hey,
that's what we're looking for, and that's where we're in. And what I will do, once I'm in position, I will call you and give you the information if you want to support us. If you want to support me and what I'm doing right now, then you can go on a hashtag RayFauntroy and send a CashApp, whatever you choose. It will be put to use for what we're doing. And
so let me say that again. I want to make sure I have that spelled right, because I'm going to put that on screen right now. Your CashApp. Your CashApp
yes.
is Ray. It's RAY Ray. FAUNTROY.
Yeah, that's F like Frank, AUN like Nancy, T like Thomas, OY. Yes.
T with an R in there, right? TROY, right?
TROY. Yes.
Gotcha. All right, I have it on screen. His Cash App, and what I will be doing when this video is over with, people listening on the replay, I will put his Cash App in the description box, so you guys know. I'm going to let Dr. Fauntroy go. We're going to keep going on the show. We're going to do some more Q&A and talk to you guys in the chat room. I'm going to let Mr. Fauntroy go, but I'm going to keep his Cash App up here throughout the show, because I would please show him some love right now. We have 259 people in here. If everyone in here donated to this man at least $10, you know how far that can go. So please, I need everyone in here to donate to Mr. Fauntroy. Don't donate to my Cash App. Donate to his. And that throughout the show. And if you're watching on replay, you too, because we're going to have a few thousand people listen to this replay. We're going to need you to donate to Mr. Fauntroy's Cash App. Thank you again, Mr. Fauntroy. Again, when your next show, I'm sorry, my bad. When your next move is ready to be made, please come back on and let's talk about it.
Will do. Can I also give my telephone number just in case?
Yes.
Yes, it's 786-389-3274.
Let me say that. Let me 786
389
Mm-hmm.
3274.
Got you. I have it down here. and we will. It's down here on the for people to see that's watching live, and I will again put this in the description box when it's done.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you so
again,
much,
Mr.
Dwanna.
Fauntroy.
I appreciate what you're doing, and I wish more of our brothers and sisters would do what you're doing and keep this movement alive among our people.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
All right, my brother. God bless and have a good life.
All right, you have a good one. Thank you. That was Mr. RayFauntroy, Dr. Martin Luther King's limo driver, former SCLC president, giving you the whomps and the wimps, the downs and the lows of what was going on during the civil rights movement. Wow. That was great. That was great. I love doing these interviews, man, because it's like there's nothing better than talking to those who have been there, who've been there, done that. That is so dope. He said you saying his Cash App doesn't come up? I will. What I'll do is let me see here. Let me because I have his number. Let me check the Cash App side of the game. And hold on, people. Let me see here. Let me y'all saying it ain't coming up. Y'all saying it ain't coming up. See, 786 389 389 3274. Oh yes, his Cash App is coming up. Type in that phone number you see down there. Oh, I see what it is. When I typed in his phone number, his Cash App isn't Rafe. It's his full name, Raymond Fauntroy. There we go. Raymond Fauntroy. I'm glad I looked it up through his phone number. But yeah, it's Raymond Fauntroy. I just found his Cash App. I just found it. I'm about to Cash App him myself, and then when I Cash App him, I'm gonna ask you guys to do the same. Here we go. All right. I just sent him a Cash App. Confirm. Yep. I just sent him a Cash App. And I please do the same. I'm loving our elders spend time with us. Yep. Y'all heard that, the beep, boom, boom, your Cash App just went through. Cool. Thank you for, I didn't see somebody in the chat room. I scrolled. What's up, Jay Elite? I ain't seen Jay in a minute. Yeah, there we go. Is what's up, Lovelace? His Cash App is Raymond Fauntroy. It's his full name. He's in. Mr. Fauntroy is in his 80s, y'all. Didn't he sound good to be in his 80s? He sounded really good to be in his 80s. Yeah, but he hit on a few topics that we talk about regularly on here, about how, you know, what's going on in Miami, and how, you know, when the Cuban immigration thing started getting heavy, they were thinking that they had allies coming in from Cuba, coming in off them boats. And these are people who segregated themselves into corners and segregated their money while we were sort of left out there all alone and exposed. Happened in LA, through Mexico. And now they're starting to spread these people all across the Deep South. You know, it's up in Minnesota with the Indian population. You know, so, but black folks, we've been through this before. Let's talk some history now. We can go back to after Reconstruction, when they started bringing in all of those Eastern Europeans and ethnic Europeans. And they weren't considered white at the time. They were considered ethnics. Those people created whites-only unions and segregated their economy from us. We went through it. We've gone through this before, black folks. All through the early 1900s, we were being basically pushed out of the South and into the northern industrial economy. We took over the cities. We made it do what it do. Now we're getting pushed back out of the cities into these sort of satellite cities. If you're in LA, you're getting pushed out to Palmdale. Hell, some getting pushed out way to the Palm Desert. It's happening nationwide. It's different, but look, man, we've always won. No matter what the hell they've done to us, we still find a way to win. We still find a way to win. We still always find a way to win. I'm going to take some of y'all calls now. Let me put this number up. Y'all see the number on the bottom, 323-744-7425. You're right, Landmark said they shut down Little Haiti. Yeah, they gave it to the immigrants. Now they're taking it back. And the same thing gonna happen to the Mexicans out here in LA. All that Mexican, because the Mexicans gentrified a lot of niggas out of LA back in the late 80s and throughout the 90s and the early 2000s. They took over a lot of that. But they got about 10 more years with it before they get Whoopty-Whamp gentrified out by Asians and Indians and white folks. So, and this goes to the people who like to, you know, have coalitions with these other groups that like that don't like to fuck with black folks. They'll give y'all the ball for a little bit to play, but at some point these white motherfuckers gonna take their ball back, like they always do. They always take their ball back, man. Yeah, smash the like button. Yeah, we got a caller. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Dwan, man? My name is Rico, bro. I'm calling out of Birmingham.
Birmingham,
yeah,
Alabama. What's going on?
Yeah. See, slow motion, brother, man. I definitely want to thank you for what you're doing, man. You're bridging that gap between us and the elders, especially the elders that actually care and that are willing to listen to those that are younger than themselves.
Yes.
And like Mr. Raymond mentioned about how they need us and we need them. And I think that message has been blurred throughout the past couple of generations. And it's well needed, man. I definitely once again appreciate you for everything that you do, brother. You're doing a great job, and that the ancestors and the positive energy will definitely keep coming your way.
I appreciate that, brother. That brother. Thank you for calling in.
All right, bless.
Yeah, we gotta bridge that gap with the elders that want the gap bridged. You know, I'm in the philosophy with brother Jason Black, and you can't trust them old niggas. I feel every syllable, everything when he says that. Like, oh yeah, I'm with you, bruh. But like there are exceptions. There are elders that do want to work with us. There are elders that are willing to speak to us. It's just like there are young folks who want to speak to the elders. We just got to find each other. And through finding each other, because like I had Brother Cabo on, I had Judge Joe Brown on, Randy Short, and Brother Fauntroy is much older than all of them. And he's so we're there. We need to hear from them. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Brother Dwan, it's Lovelace. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Lovelace? I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to call in and, kind of do like the other caller did, brother. We appreciate you. We're thankful for you doing the extra work that we haven't been able to put in yet. But I appreciate you. And I know the other people in the chat room and, over the world we do, because you're worldwide. You're not YouTube-wide, in my opinion. You're worldwide, and you're making strides. And we're out here taking notes and taking action. We are.
I appreciate that a lot. I really do.
Yeah, I wanted to salute you and salute the chat room, too. And we appreciate you, brother. Don't leave us out here. We need you. We appreciate you.
I thank you. You have a good one. I appreciate that, Lovelace.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, we out here. I appreciate the calls because it's like, man, look, there are elders out there who really are on point, who really, really want to reach back. And I understand a lot of the elders, they've been, they got rejected by a lot of youth. So you have certain elders who are sort of afraid to reach back to the youth out of fear of rejection. For the elders that think like that, understand we don't reject you guys. We just reject a lot of what was passed down from your generation. And we can't all the way blame you because we know how the media works. The media is only going to put in front of us the people that reinforce their agenda. But at the same time, we got to speak out against a lot of misleadership from the older eras. But that's changing, and it's changing because the ones who are true to it, real with it, they are reaching out to us. And those of us that are listening, we listening. We hear what they say. So just because it's a general rule, you can't trust a lot of our elders, it doesn't mean that's the absolute rule. The same way to you elders, yes, it's a general rule. There's a lot of young, dumb dummies out there, but hey, like anything else. And I take on this responsibility as a young elder. I never look at the kids because the kids are a reflection of the leadership. So you got to always remember that. But like at the same time, there are always leaders out there who had a shit right. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Cedrick Should, and I'm calling from Watts, L.A.
Watts, L.A. What up, brother? Well, by Hawkins Burger. They trying to shut down Hawkins because of the damn 105 freeway and shit. But what's going on?
Just wanted to chime in, man. I let you know about how old I am in relationship to what I've seen. I actually lived on 103rd Street when the Watts riots was jumping off. I watched it as a child. And so I guess you could call me an elder, but I've been a kind of outsider because I've always led and thought with a revolutionary spirit and kind of just was a little bit different from a lot of the folks around me and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that as a group, we need to bring back exactly what you're doing. You know, and I know that, like you speak of your grandfather, all the elder black men had a "I don't give a damn what you think" attitude. They led with that.
You right about that.
They stood on that. And we got to get back to that.
Yeah.
I love seeing that on Craig Facts. Corey is wild as fuck, but he don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You brothers are speaking your truths, and as I tell a lot of folks when I'm just in my travels, I spew my propaganda wherever I go. That's what I do. Like it or don't like it.
Hey,
Brother Dwan, you keep on doing what you're doing, young man. I'm going to support in every way, financially, with the rhetoric, everything. keep it pushing. Let's, don't let off the pedal.
I appreciate that, my brother.
Unapologetically. And I know Jason Black don't trust us worth a damn. And shit, I don't blame him. A lot of these old motherfuckers, man, they didn't bring us nothing but grief. All the motherfuckers that they put up in front of us. That's who we got to keep the funny, keep the John the Sty on. Those that they promote, those that they push up there. Follow the money.
Follow the money, man. I appreciate that. Calling in from 103rd Street. I know exactly where you are, my brother, man. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one.
Take care. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, 103rd. God damn it. I pass 103rd all the goddamn time. You heard me. I said pass. Oh, y'all, JD say y'all Urban X family. Shouts out to Urban X. I see Jay Lee, y'all Quan, y'all both in Urban X chat room. Yeah, I like Urban X. I haven't heard it Urban X in a few weeks, but I like to check in with Malcolm and his pops, and Black Dot. It's 11:11. The doors and the gateways are open. 11:11, 11:11, 11:11, 11:11. Yeah, I like Urban X. Salute to Urban X podcast. Salute to King Simon. Yeah. What's up, Joe Feezy? Shouts out to Joe Fox. Always brings the visions. I be calling Joe Fox at goddamn 11:30 at night with, I just had an idea. He be like, all right, man, just email me, man. I'll take care of it in the morning. Take care of that shit and it be done right. Salute to Joe Fox. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what up, Dwan? This Superstar Real from Queens, man. What up?
What's up, brother? What's on your mind?
Nothing, man. I just wanted to touch in. I just heard you shout out the homies Urban X. Shout out to Black Dot and Malcolm, man. Shout out to Craig Fax 5150. You already know.
Yes.
I just want to say one thing and get up out of here. I'm chilling on Shorty right now. I don't think it's a matter of old people selling us out, young people selling us out. I think it's just a matter of a type of spirit. Certain motherfuckers are just destined to just be some hoe ass niggas, man. Like,
I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
Old, in between, man.
Look, bro, you ain't got no argument for me. It's some people just born with a whole spirit.
That's a fact, man.
And sometimes a whole spirit is nurtured into people. Either way it go, by the time they're 20, they ain't some hoe ass shit.
That's a fact, man. But shout out to the real ones, man. I got my shirt, my John Henry Clark shirt, man. Black people don't know nobody nothing but ass whooping, man. Stay black, man. I'm out.
All right, you have a good one, brother.
You too, man. Peace.
Peace. Yeah. Yeah, salute to Craig Fax. We had a dope ass episode this past Thursday. We had Fred from Barbershop Conversations. He's a boxing analyst, filmmaker. He has a new controversial film coming out called 9 Wives, talking about the wives of Elijah Muhammad. And he's talking about that on the show. It's an interesting interview. I want you guys to check it out on Craig Fax. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, Dwan, it's Rock from Atlanta, man.
What's up, Rock from Atlanta? How's it going, brother?
I can't complain. I don't disagree with what the last caller said. I agree. Some people just got a spirit in them. Maybe their ancestors carried it or they developed it. But I do agree that you do got to watch these old niggas because you got to understand in life that people, their motivations change as they evolve or grow or transform, and people lose hope as they grow and evolve and transform if they were never with the struggle to begin with.
Good point.
So it's easy for these old cats to just, want to go and die peaceful. You know what I mean? I don't want to out my people too much, but I got people in the family that just want to have full death. To them, I'm talking that black shit. And I'm like, damn, my boy, you wake up like this every day, though, don't you?
Yeah.
But that was it, man. I love what y'all doing. You per se, like, bro, you done expanded and just, you know, put so much out there, man. I really love what you're doing and how you're growing your platform. And, you know, of course, I love what y'all do as a unit, but, man, keep on working, and I'm going to try to follow in your footsteps, my dog.
I appreciate that, man. You have a good one.
All right.
And that's what it is, man. Us doing it on our own. Like, you know, Mr. Fauntroy said it, you know, you can read all the books that you want to read. You know, you can get stuffed full of knowledge, but what are you doing with the knowledge? And I'm also glad that he brought up the talents in the Bible, because y'all know me, I don't fuck with church like that. But there are certain tenets in the Bible there are a lot of tenets in the Bible that you should live by, because these aren't tenets exclusive to the Bible. It's just the Bible's illustration of them, of old wisdom and knowledge that we've had going back tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years before the Bible. And that's the man with the talents. I'm gonna get into that talents after this phone conversation. Oh no, or they hung up. Whatever. Call back. That parable with the people with the talents, that's really what really got me going into. That's why I do so much. You know, it was that parable in the Bible, the man with the 5 talents invested in the 5 talents and grew it into 10 talents. The man with the 3 talents invested those 3 talents and grew them. And then the one with the 1 talent buried those talents away. I'm paraphrasing because I ain't read the scripture in like 20 years. But I remember the message stuck with me so strong, going back to when I was in children's church as a child. It's one of my favorite parables of the Bible, going back to when I was a kid. And I always held on to this. And matter of fact, this parable is part of the reason why I left the church. Because I was the kind of person, when I read the Bible, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this shit? Let me answer this call and I'm going to get right back to it. Remind me of oh shit, this thing keeps hanging up. Well, something's going on with my Skype, y'all. Something's going on with my Skype right now. I'm trying to answer these calls and it's not answering. So I'm gonna take the line. I'm gonna restart Skype, and then maybe y'all can call in after. But going back to that parable on the Bible, I remember that parable talking about the different talents that people had. And I remember it really sticking with me that you can't bury your talent. You have to cultivate your talent. And me, I grew up as a person, I didn't have much confidence in myself in a lot of ways when I grew up. That's something that I had to grow to get and to learn. And through trial and error, through experience. But I remember in my early 20s, a lot of my, me having these different talents, but not really using them like that, especially when I got, moved on. So I always knew to cultivate my talents. That parable is what made me teach myself how to play the drums. I had this natural inkling to play the drums. That parable is what made me go through teaching myself how to play. I was always really good at public speaking and speaking in general. So when I was in college, I got my degree in communication studies to cultivate the talent. And all the different talents that I had, I went and got further education on developing those talents. And then, we all go through times in our lives where we lose ourselves. That's why I encourage mental health counseling, mental health so much. I encourage therapy so much. Because we all go through points in our lives that no matter how talented we are, no matter how dope you are, no matter how great you are as a person, you go through these points where you forget that. We get through these points in our lives that we get away from how dope we really are as an individual. And you get a job and you get comfortable with that job. And then you get with somebody that you with. They ain't the best person for you to be with, but you comfortable. So we continue to take these comfortable losses and forget about winning. If that's where you are right now in your life, remember how dope you are. Go back and remember the times in your life that you won. Go back and remember the times in your life that you've gotten it right. You're not a lifelong fuck up. You just been fucking up recently. But you made it this far in your life because you're inherently a winner. You do not make it this far in your life by being a fucking loser. Remember that. If you alive, if you ain't in jail, you still got time. And even if you are in jail, if you get out in 10 years, you'll have time after that. If you just got out of jail, nigga, you still got time. Remember that. So that parable with the talents, I went through that point in my early 30s where I forgot, nigga. I wasn't where I needed to be. So when I left my last, before I started my last job, if y'all go back and get my webinar, No Time to Waste, I break down how to find your talents. I went through a whole exercise about, exposing my inner gifts. It's in my book, No Time to Waste. If you go to my website right now and get the book is only $8.99. That book teaches you how to get out of these ruts that you get in life, because it's how I got out of mine. It's a short reader, only 22 pages, but I promise you that shit gonna help. I got a lot of dope ass reviews from that. I realized, I'm funny when I did the exercise. So I was like, okay, if I'm funny, let me try stand-up comedy. And I tried stand-up comedy. And I started getting myself out that rut, out that hole I was in. But it took a little bit of time. For those who watch Craig Facts, y'all know, and for people who've been listening for a long time, y'all have heard this story. New listeners, y'all gonna hear it for the first time. But when that show Roast Me first started, it was Teddy Ray's thing. And Teddy Ray called me right after he called Craig to do Roast Me. I had just done a few things with All Def Digital. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But bigger than that, I was at a down time in my life, confidence-wise. So when Teddy gave me that call to do that show Roast Me, it was a new show. No one had never heard of it. Everything that had been going on before at All Def, I would go down there, it'd be something different than what I was told. But I told Teddy, no. I have to go to work today. I chose my job, a day at work, over something that ended up being the biggest thing that ever hit that channel of All Def. Millions and millions and millions of viewers. I was asked to be on the first episode and I said no. And I can talk about all the other things that went around it, but really at the end of the day, what it really was deep inside was I was at a point in my life where I was not feeling myself. I wasn't confident. I wasn't satisfied. And I was just thinking, man, whatever, bullshit. That show ended up being a show that changed a lot of comedians' lives. And I wasn't a part of it because of where I was in my head mentally. So I got to working on myself. I couldn't blame other people because it's other people. Now Teddy lost that he wasn't controlling the show anymore. After Teddy, it was other people who took control of that show that could have got me on it, and they told me they were going to get me on it. And I could do all that exposing nonsense, but I can't blame them. I can't look at them. I can only look in the mirror at myself and where I was. But I can say that I have done the mental work, internal work since then to never let that shit happen again. So when that nigga Corey called me last year for my first time to go on 5150, a nigga was ready. When Craig called me to do Craig Facts, I was ready. Because I spent the time between losing out on the opportunity to saying, okay, I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm going to work on my talents. And I'm going to cultivate these talents and do something with it. Now I'm starting to reap the benefits. Before you invest in buildings, before you invest in businesses, invest in yourself. Because if you take a fractured self into business, you're going to have a fractured business. If you take a fractured self into whatever you do, is going to be fractured. Whatever it is you do needs a complete and a whole you. You'll get the money, you'll buy that property, but you'll fuck it off because your head ain't in the right place. You don't believe it. So remember to take the time to invest in yourself. Invest in your mental well-being. You dig? All right, I think I got the phone line back working right again. I quit out of that phone line and opened it back up. It should be working. So go ahead and call in. The people, I'm not gonna put the phone number back up there, but the people who were calling me earlier, I want to get your calls. I'm gonna take at least 2 or 3 more calls before I get up out of here. I think that's why. I think my phone line is working again. I appreciate that, J Smooth. Yeah. But yeah, let's see here. Call in. I appreciate that, Stanley Horton. Yeah, I love doing Craig Facts. Craig Facts is my goddamn favorite podcast. We was all over here kicking it the other day. Oh, and let me see here. I'm gonna answer this. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Delano. I'm calling from Niagara Falls. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, what's up, brother Delano? I'm going good. What's on your mind?
I noticed when you asked Mr. Fauntroy about reparations, his answer was pretty much to focus more on self-determination instead of the reparations.
Uh-huh.
And I hear that a lot, and I always wonder why people don't foresee or conceive of a 2-pronged plan. Where I do agree, the first priority in the first prong should be, like Mr. Fauntroy says, self-determination. But we could also have a second prong with a little less priority to go after those reparations, because if the Chinamans is getting them, and you got people from Africa getting all type, and even worse of all, the fake Native Americans getting it, I'm not willing to let that slide. You know what I mean? If it don't cost too much attention and energy to use that second prong. I just wanted to see how you felt about that.
I'm going to answer you in 2 parts, all right? First part. Why do people say Kobe or LeBron? Because in there's 5 positions on the basketball court, and the 2 players play different positions. We do that oftentimes because we see things oftentimes in black and white. We see things hot or cold. And for me, I think a lot of that has to do with, in my opinion, my conjecture, a lot of that has to do with the religious style upbringing of philosophy America has. Heaven or hell, devil or God. They never talk about, okay, why do all these things exist? If then people don't, it's very tough for people to get past one or the other. So it becomes a subconscious behavior to choose one over the other. My approach is a lot like yours, but more so than saying put one on the back burner. My you have a personal agenda and you have a political agenda. The way I see it is my personal agenda is to give myself reparations and self-determination, work at me, cultivate my talents. But when it comes to my political agenda is reparations. We can do both. We do both every day. Every day we live and exist. We go to work, we take care of our families, we feed ourselves, and then you take time to find out what's going on politically, and you may take a little more time to vote. So we're already doing both. So the way I see it is, my personal agenda is self-determination. My political agenda, however, if I'm going to be involved in politics, is reparations or get the fuck out my face, because I pay taxes. So I can focus on my work and still focus on where my taxes are spent. So I think that you're on the right path. And for those listening, that's the way we could. It doesn't have to be a fight. Matter of fact, it shouldn't be a fight. It should be a both and approach.
I like your words on the. You say people think in black and white and ultimatum terms, and that's why the mentality be limited. And I just want to say we should start thinking in terms of continuum. Things move on, and it's not ultimatum in black and white. Things move on and on continuum, and then you start to pay attention to the details better.
You appreciate my brother. You appreciate you. Thank you for the call.
Thank you for receiving. Peace, sir.
Thanks. I want to wish a happy birthday to longtime listener, belated birthday. I did not go live yesterday, but to Emmanuel Heath, happy birthday, my brother. It is a happy belated birthday to you. I wish you and your family well and continue to be B1. Thank you, and happy birthday to you, my brother. And y'all know I got my webinar coming up this coming Sunday, communicating racism to children. Us as a people, we're oftentimes behind the eight ball when it comes to racial matters because we don't coach up our youth at a young enough age to deal with it. Black people we don't get real serious about what's going on with race until it happens to us and smacks us in the ass. We got to get smarter about that. You know what I mean? We gotta be smarter about that. We gotta be more proactive, I should say. Because your children are already dealing with it every time they turn on their Xbox or their PlayStation. They're already dealing with it. So you may as well communicate it to them in very clear, plain words to see what they're going through. Let's talk about it. It's only $34.99. Type in the product code ONCODE to receive a $5 discount. I'm going to give you the tools you need to communicate these things to children, young adults, and anyone who may ask. You dig? You dig? Let's see what's going through on Twitter over here. Ain't nobody calling in. Let me see what they talk about on Twitter. Okay. Let's see what they're talking about on Twitter. I'm about to get off here in a little bit. But it was something on Twitter I wanted to bring up. Where is it? Dr. Boyce has George Fraser on. I'm going to listen to that. Boyce, Boyce Walkers be stirring some shit, boy. But he still be bringing valuable people to to interview. And George Fraser is a great person to interview. What y'all talking about in the chat room? I'm just saying, I got to get into this Simone Biles story. I heard about this before shit started. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to do another show on the Simone Biles story. It looks like a lot's going on with our sister. We're going to talk about that. What y'all talking about here in the chat room? Let's see here. Yeah, but my thing when it comes to reparations, no, I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. That's what I want. I want it all. I pay taxes. Everybody else getting a piece of my taxes. I want mine. Currently and back pay. And that's my political agenda. And if the politicians ain't talking about that, then I have other ways to spend my attention. Yeah, I love when Dr. Claude Anderson speaks with boys. Did y'all see Vicky Diller's gonna have Derrick Jackson on? I don't know about that, Sister Vicky. It's gonna be my last call of the day. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Big One, man? This is Trey Day 90 from Atlanta, by Louisville. What's up with you, man?
What's up, Trey Day? How's it going, my brother?
Man, it's all good, man. Just down here, man. Weather and shit, man. Hey, man, you get good information, dog, and you need credit. But man, one thing, man, I really you invite Dr. Clyde Winters on for an interview, man. That dude's like the only person putting out real academic information on this whole Native American thing, and the Africans that came over here and everything. Like he's printed like peer-reviewed studies and stuff.
Oh,
and
I've done. That, you know. Oh yeah, I've done a whole broadcast on his books.
Yeah.
I look. If you know, or if you or anyone can get in contact with Dr. Clyde Winters, do you know how happy I'd be to interview that brother? I don't know his contact.
I got you, man. I'm on Egypt Search, man. I'm a real adamant follower of Dr. Clyde Winters, man, Bobby Hemming and everything, man. I kind of got my own theories and things. Tariq hit me up like some years ago, man, when he had that Illinois Nations website. Because I got like a hell of a blog on Egypt Search about the true history of our people, and it just goes from 12,000 BC on to present, and it really puts context to the racial situation today. But yeah, Tariq told me like years ago, man, they emailed me and told me like put all that information on his forum and shit on Illinois Nations and all that. So I mean, some people check for my shit. I ain't saying
email your shit to me and I'll put it out there. I'll repost it. You know me, I ain't a hog with this information. Shit, let's run it.
Hey man, keep doing what you're doing, man. But in the meantime, though, man, I'm gonna hit up Dr. Clyde, man, and I'm gonna check in with you, man, on IG on her or something, man. And man, I'm gonna try to get that set up, man, because I mean, dude's actually saying, man, I gotta get this info in before I die. You feel me? He's real old now.
Yeah, I've read at least 3 of his books, and I read his articles. It would be great for me to interview Dr. Clyde Winters because he's a guy. I look at him as he's one of our guys. And,
real talk, man.
And he's doing the work, and that would be great. And email hotepish@gmail.com. Send me your stuff, and I'll repost that shit on IG or whatever. I like to spread information. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, I'm with it, man. But hey, man, stay up, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. One.
All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Man, do y'all know how happy I'd be if I got to interview Dr. Clyde Winters? The man that taught me through his books about the Jamestown and the different blacks who were here in Jamestown already, the native black, the Spanish black, then the African, man, set that up. Run that. But yeah, going back to what I was talking about as far as mental health, man. Mental health is real. You gotta, people as black folks, we good, man. We just forgot who we are. That's all the fuck that's going on right now, man. We just forgot. You know, we read, like Layla Africa said on Hidden Colors 4, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just get tired. But I think that we, us millennials, some of Gen X, all of Gen Z, and those after Gen Z, it's a different time for us. I think we the generation that came to wake shit up. You know what I mean? We that generation. We the generation. I look at our generation, those of us under 50. And it doesn't exclude, trust me, this does not exclude those over 50. But I think overall, we the generation that our ancestors been waiting on to really come and change this shit. We the ones. That's why it's on us to get off our ass and do it. You know what I mean? Stop getting on this information porn. Be the information. Make the next news. You be what the next generation of writers write about. How about that? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's poppin'? It's your boy Knox from the internet. I'm in Minnesota. What's going on, boy?
What's up, brother?
Man, look here. You talking about the mental health, and I just want to make this point because it's something that be very serious to me when I look at the situation that we be in. And we're fighting science. You know what I'm saying? When you just talked about that information porn, all this internet, just starting with the television back before the internet, they use science on us so hard that when people say, you know, black people just need to get themselves together, I'd be like, well, how are they supposed to do that? Through osmosis? There's a guy who gave me a beautiful analogy about mind control and how it's applied to black people. And he said, just think if you had a fine girl, right? And you brought her over to the crib and, you know, she got a little sweater on and shit, and you want to get her comfortable. She looking good. So you go over there, turn the heat up. Now, she don't know you turned the heat up, right? But in a little while, she start getting warm. You know what I'm saying? And so in her mind, she said, shit, it's warm. Let me take my sweater off. Now, she thinks she made that decision on her own. But she made it because of something you did. And that's where black people are in America right now. There's a lot of that being applied to us. So there's a point where we talk about pocket watching and, you know, we start talking about Jay-Z and, you know, just whoever has money. And I understand what people mean, but we also have to apply the common sense denominator to it. And your boy out there, who was the basketball, Donald Sterling. Sterling said the realest shit that nobody ever heard. He said himself, we don't mess with black people because black people don't mess with themselves. Look at them. Y'all understand that talk. If white people are not going to do anything for you, why the fuck are y'all still waiting for white people to do stuff for you? We've literally given you niggas enough money to do what the fuck you need to do through Magic Johnson, through all these niggas. But you guys are too busy wanting to be your own self in this world instead of going back and building up your own nation. And that was the realest shit that I don't think nobody ever really heard what that man said, because he didn't call us niggers. He didn't get really belligerent. He just stated some real facts about our behavior and how, you know, how we are in this country, how we behave, what we do. And I just like to hear your thoughts on that, citing the science of white supremacy. And how that, because that really can't be done individually. There has to come a point where there's some black people who take it upon themselves to want to fight that feeling. We need some superpowers. We need some science. And I believe, actually, Dwan, that's where you come in. It's people like you, it's people like Craig Fax, even with the silliness and bringing the real. Jason Black, Professor Black too. You know, these people, you guys are actually the people fighting that science. So let me put that out there too. You are part of that solution. But again, there has to come that financial part to where we're starting to do the same things. And maybe we need to start applying some mind control and some bullshit to white people.
You know who else
Mike,
is part?
hear your thoughts on that, brother.
You know who else is part of the solution? Everyone listening. Because and this is why I'm saying that, because I got the confidence to to do what I do through listening to Jason Black, through listening to cats like Tariq. You know what I mean? Tariq gave a lot of the information. I've always been in the information. I remember seeing Dr. Claude Anderson. He came to my church when I was 13. That's when I was first introduced to him back in 1994. But when the Hidden Colors, we used to get Dr. Kawanza Kanjufu would come to our church as a kid. We had a lot of, you know, when I was young, we had actually some dope black folks that came to our church back in the early 90s. And so I was put onto a lot of this information early. But what Hidden Colors did was Hidden Colors brought it all together for me. And then when I would listen to Dick Gregory speak, when I would listen to Brother Kaba speak, when I would listen to Umar Johnson speak, all on Hidden Colors, they were speaking on things that I saw daily, especially on the education aspect. So when I heard Dr. Welsing, Dr. Kaba, and Umar Johnson break down the special education component and what that's doing to black children, at the time I was working a job that was in mental health, working for nothing an hour, you know, basically going through depression, not really knowing what my next move was going to be. So, but when I heard that information gave me a spark. I then knew what I can do. I'm like, okay, since I'm in these schools every day, since I'm already here and I heard this is a problem, let me apply what I learned from these guys. So long before I started talking to y'all, I was the person that would listen to these cats and I would, okay, how can I apply what they saying with my talent? You know what I mean? And when it came to my comedy, Dick Gregory was my druthers. When I saw the story of Dick Gregory, you know, being the richest, most famous comic on earth, and then leaving that because he wanted to stick with his people. And then when he did tell jokes, his jokes always uplifted his people. I made sure my comedy did that. I reflected that in my comedy. And I had other attempts at podcasts before this. Mind you, during this whole time, 2011, I had a podcast called Sports and Things with Larry and an NBA player I will not name because he's a hoe. But it was I was out there trying to do stuff, but you know, wasn't coming together. But as I got inspiration, I applied what them brothers said in the way that I could do something about it. And after years and years and years of doing this in my way, having my company Breakthrough Advocacy Services that opened because of reading Black Labor, White Wealth with Dr. Claude Anderson and him talking about my economy, before Boyce became a gossip queen, when Boyce used to actually give out information on opening up businesses and stuff like that. I took that information and did something with it. So when you guys listen to me talk, understand that I'm a product of applying in my way, using my talents, the information that I got from the other people that we all listen to too. So that's why I say to everyone listening, you're a part of it. You have a skill, you have a talent, you have a reach to somebody in your area that your talent can meet their need. And if everyone finds a way to make your talent meet the need of the collective and not worry about solving the whole problem because we can't. My degree's in communication studies. You know what I mean? I don't know how. I'm not going to be the one that's going to teach kids electrician, how to be an electrician. But I can get people who are electricians and be like, if they have programs, if they got one, I can shout your program out. to say, hey, for you guys who want to learn how to be an electrician, learn how to be a plumber, I can use my talent to then match with someone else who has a different talent that I can't do. And if everyone focuses on their talents and cultivates all their talents and use your talents to give back to the whole of the community, that's how we win this shit.
Yes, sir. I feel you. That's why I ride with you. We gravitated to you the moment we heard you. I'm quite sure that everybody in here that came from Craig Factory, we went to Craig Factory for Craig off of Corey. The first day I seen you, I was like, oh, this nigga cool. The moment you had a podcast that was for me to go check out, I went and checked you out. And then when we got into actually what you was really, man, look here, you are the inspiration because see, I just turned 50 this year. So I don't know if I'm a part of that old nigga.
No, you ain't part of the old nigga. You with us. You with us.
You did. So even so, you as a young dude, you are an inspiration to me because there was a point in my life, and I get on God, right before I found Jason Black, and this was right before before Obama and all of that. I was at a lull in my life because as I looked around, I said, nigga, we dead. It's sick, it's dead, there's no love out here, there's nothing. And then Jason Black came and I said, oh shit, there is niggas out here who think like me. Okay, let's ride.
Yeah.
And, here we are today. So you are an extension of Jason. And again, all the people in the chat room, I want y'all to know, Lovelace, like Deep Impression, all y'all, man, you are the fucking inspiration because when I know that there's other niggas like this out there, when I know that there's other minds that are really looking for the love of black people again, man, it just makes me feel good. It makes me get up in the morning and go do what the fuck I got to do, like you said, to participate in my way. And I just hope that y'all do the same thing.
I appreciate you, brother, man. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. Keep it up.
Yeah. Y'all gotta realize, man, I appreciate that call, but y'all, for me, y'all the inspiration. Star, Quan S, Bug Shelton, Herb Saint, Deep Impressions, all y'all. Tasha, because look, man, when I started out comedy, people don't really fuck with me in this comedy game like that. I was told real early on in the comedy to basically stop being pro-black by a comedy club owner of one of the major comedy clubs here in LA. I was told basically, don't nobody want to hear that pro-black shit. That's what I was told. And those comedy club owners and promoters and stuff like that, they used to give me a whole lot of shows, give me a lot of stage time. They followed suit and stopped giving me stage time. Do you know how hard it is to be in your own city and you can't get it? You can't get stage time, and you seeing comics who ain't as funny as you get all the stage time in the world. And all these promoters are saying is, "Hey, Dwan, drop the pro-black act and get back to saying your goofy fat jokes, and we'll give you stage time." I tried it for a couple months, but I couldn't sleep. When I'm creative, I gotta express myself. I gotta be genuine in my expression. But my genuine expression is what was stopping me from getting stage time. That shit ain't easy. So I stayed in the hood with my comedy, Family Room, J-Spot, all the ignorant nigga bars, all the places that they said niggas don't want to hear information, niggas don't. I went to them. I was going to those comedy bars. And I was killing. Cracking them jizzos. Having them motherfuckers dying laughing. But I couldn't get, out there like that. I couldn't get on the shows that would give me the exposure, like the mainstream shit. But then I would be in the 5150 chat room in 2014, 2015. I wouldn't say nothing in the chat room, but I would hear when Zoe or Freeze would drop some information, I would see a bunch of y'all agree with it. So I'd be like, okay, it is people out there. I would see Tariq's chat room. I would see Jason Black's chat room. And that's what made me be like, oh shit, okay. I can talk this information. Maybe I won't get the exposure here in LA. Maybe I won't get the look that I need through any mainstream acts. But if I get to that internet, I can hopefully find. This is the conversation that I had with myself. This is a conversation I was having just 2 years ago. If I could just get 10 people in my chat room, you know what I mean? If I could just do a show where I could get a consistent 10 people in my chat room, if I can get 1,000 followers on YouTube, then I'll be, I'll go live at least twice a week, and I would say what I gotta say. All I wanted was 10 people in the chat and 1,000 subscribers. And I figured it'd take me about 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers. When I started taking YouTube seriously, June 2020. I had 35 subs. I was like, if by the end of the year, I could be at 1,000 subs and 10 people in the chat room. But then I did 5150, then Craig Facts, and y'all started supporting like a motherfucker. So that gave me the energy to keep going. That shit gave me the energy to keep going. For real, for real. But I'm about to get up out of here. Got the webinar coming up Sunday, enrolling in now. Got my t-shirts. No Time to Waste webinar that's already up on my website still. You know what I mean? I got my merchandise. Y'all know my favorite new shirt. My new shirt is killing the game right now. I want y'all to get it. Rebels for the Cause, Nat Turner, Robert Smalls, Bass Reeves, Denmark Vesey, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Get yours now. Get your Scholars t-shirt. Dr. John Henry Clark, Martin Luther King. I fear I may have integrated my people into a burning house. I want to thank Dr. Fauntroy for coming on. Please donate to his Cash App. I have his Cash App link in the description bar. Donate to his Cash App. Let him know that he's appreciated. Show him that his work has not gone unnoticed. I challenge everybody to give that man at least $10. If you only got $1, that's cool too. I ain't tripping. But I really want us to show up and show out for him and show how much we really care for him and the work that he's put in. If y'all could donate at least $10 to that man, it'd be greatly appreciated. My name is Dwan B, and remember this: there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. I appreciate that, Bug Sheldon. My name is Dwan B. Watch us on Craig Facts later on today. I'm out.